Welcome back to my Weird Wednesday read. Okay, not quite sure where I'm going today. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things relating to two of the readings I've done recently and the correlations between them, or the little coincidences that have come up around that. Okay, so first of all, I was talking to a friend about the one where I had the dream about the waters, these waters touching these waters, and it was like everybody was worried about the apocalypse or something. It was crazy. It was crisis averted in my dream. And then the next day it was Elon Musk. I saw something about Elon Musk saying that there's a firmament and they've been firing rockets at it, and this was all playing out while the sometime around that dream that I had. So that reading, it talked about the firmament. So well, obviously I went deep diving and looking down there at that, and then I was explaining that to a friend, and I said, well, maybe they've got the word wrong. Maybe it's not waters above. Maybe it was like interpreted wrong, the word waters, and the waters below. So then what I found this week is that the word, I think it's tahom in Hebrew, is when they're talking about the primordial waters of creation, I think that's the word that they use, and it can also be interpreted as the abyss. Now, the abyss. Now, that brings me back to another reading that I did on the fallen angels. I think that was last week. So they were locked up in the abyss under the Euphrates waters. So I just thought that was, I didn't know that. I just had an inkling that maybe the word was interpreted incorrectly, where they said, like, during creation, they put a firmament between the primordial waters, like the waters of the heavens and the waters of the earth. And I thought, well, maybe the word was wrong. And then I actually found the other meaning, the Hebrew meaning, and I think I got that from TikTok, but then I actually did research it as well. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know where I am with that and what's been going on with little correlations, little breadcrumbs of information that I've been getting given about what's going on and what that all means. So yeah, I'm just wondering if it's funny how they led me in. One of them was Genesis and one of them was Revelation. So it's funny how they correlated. So I just wanted to ask the cards, first of all, what they think on those two readings that I did, and if there's like a correlation between the two. Perhaps the abyss being... on TikTok I saw during the week somebody saying that the abyss is the firmament, like the firmament is the abyss, and that's where the fallen angels have been locked in that area. So I don't know, I'm not sure how much truth is in that, but let me see. This one here is saying illusion. That's an illusion. So that's my illusion card, and it's normally, this card's also in my realm deck as well. So a truth and illusion. So that's saying it's illusion. But anyway, I just want to see what my cards see about the correlation between those two readings that I did. One on the fallen angels and one on the firmament, please. Is there a correlation between the two, apart from the word abyss or the word abyss? Because then I also want to ask, on the other hand, are we in a time, because this has made me think about it, the time. This is the time card. This is a card of slowing down. This is a water card. This is a fire card. This is an air card. This is an earth card. So we've got all the signs here, all the elements. Funny, all the elements are here. So where is this taking me? All of the elements of creation, maybe. You might be talking about creation. And then right in the middle, creative expression. All the elements of creation is what they've just told me in these cards. So we've got the water, we've got the air, we've got the earth, and we've got the fire. And then right in the middle of them all, it says creative expression. So that's creative expression. So that's the creator and all the elements. I didn't have a question. I was just asking about, the creator. Is there a correlation between the two? So that being the reading I did on the fallen angels. Okay, so over here I'm going to ask, is the fallen angels connected to that somehow? And they may not actually be fallen angels. They could be creators. We don't know. We're taught different ways depending whether you're reading like the Enuma Elish, the tablets, or the Bible, the creation myths. There's all different creation myths is what I'm trying to say. And here we're talking about creation myths. That's what the cards are wanting to talk about, because we're looking at all the elements of creation here. We're talking about creation myths. Okay, so it's about what they're saying is that we are naive about it. Here they're saying we need to explore the many different options around it. We need to change our focus or our perspective a little bit. You can see there's a mask on the situation, so things aren't quite clear. It's revealed one way when it's actually another way, and we are naive when it comes to these things. It's like we don't know the full picture. Okay. Where do you want to go from here, cards? Where are you taking me with this direction? Sounds like you're taking me on about creation, talking about creation. Okay, so maybe that's where you wanted to go today. Who created us? How were we created? So we've got the Bible that says we're created from Adam and Eve. We've got, I think it's the Enuma Elish that's saying man was created from clay, and parts of the I can't remember what they're called, those beings. If I remember it, I'll write it on the screen. They put elements of themselves, so it could be genetics. They've taken their own genetics and put into the clay, this clay person, to create humans. So we are talking about creation here. That's what the cards want to talk about for our Weird Wednesday. Okay, and I'm happy to talk about anything, so whether that be from aliens or conspiracy theories or any kind of weird stuff, but I feel like, yeah, we're talking about elements of the earth and elements of creation, so I feel like, yeah, that's probably where they're leading me today. So who created us? Where do we come from? Okay, so I'm just going to put these two cards, and then I'm going to pull from my Realm deck. This is my weird deck. This is what I like to read for the Weird Wednesdays, because it talks about lots of weird stuff. So let's have a little look here. And also where we're talking about the fallen angels, I mean, they could be other beings associated with like the creation myths. So like where there's Enki and Enlil, like, and they had their little fights, the fighting brothers. So there could be elements of that. Okay. Very funny. Okay, I've got to show this card. This card here is, I call it Wisdom High Guide. It was created where I do the art and just any things come out. It's a process that I do in Photoshop, and it creates, you can almost see like people in the images. So you can see like some of the images have like, you can see this one here is like a gold being holding a big book of information, the Akashic Records. This one here came out as like an angel type with big wings, big sun, big golden light in the background, and he was holding open a big book. Now, at the time that I created this, I was at uni and I was studying mythology, and so therefore we were going through Genesis and we were going through the Enuma Elish tablets as well. So on this book, because at the time I created this, that's what I was studying at the time, I've written there very faintly on the book, on one side it says Genesis and on the other side it says Enuma Elish. So I think it's very fitting that I was talking about all this and the cards are talking about the creation, and it led me to the question of who created us, and then I started talking about the two different mythologies and the two different perspectives that we have, and this card popped out. So it's definitely saying that that's what we're reading on today, and we're looking at the differences between the two creation myths is what it's saying. So here is the big book of records, the Akashic Records, and it's saying that the information is documented. So you can get, it's like what it's saying is that you need to take the information. I'm hearing grains of salt. So you're needing to take information from all, and I'm also getting, which I haven't studied, is the Naga texts. I'm not quite sure what they are. I've never studied them, but that's what I'm hearing. And I think that could be Indian maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. If I get some details, I'll put them up. But what I'm hearing is that we need to take elements from all the creation myths and see where they fit together, because I feel like that's where we're going to get our answers from. So this is like the big book of answers, and it's holding the key from all of the different scripts is what I'm hearing, the scripts. So we've also got the Dead Sea Scrolls as well as another one. So we've got all these different scripts where things were documented. And I think if we put them all together, this card is saying simultaneous all at the same time. It's saying simultaneous all at the same time. So there's elements from all of the creation myths that have similarities. They're similar is what it's saying. And that's what it wants us to look at. So this card here is assistance from our guides, our high guides. So the assistance from and this is, I think it's bringing in the energy of like the ETs or the start, those who say that we're created from all the different genetics, from all the different types of ETs, have all put little genetics in, because that's what I'm also getting when I was talking about how the Enuma Elish, how we're created as from clay. From clay is where we were created, and I'm hearing Ishtar. I'm not 100% on the names. It was many, many years ago when I studied this, but it's saying they put parts of themselves into this clay being, and they had other ones that they'd done trying to perfect man. It's like they were trying to perfect man, but when I was talking about that, I was getting genes. They were saying it was like genes is what I was hearing. So it's like they're taking genes splicing, or their genes from different things into this. And now I'm talking about Enuma Elish, that we're talking about that creation myth, and we're taking elements into create man that way. So that's the gods, what we could to refer to as gods, and they're creating man that way. But then I'm hearing also on the other side, because what it's asking me to look at is all the different types of creation myths, and they're all similar. So we're pulling through what's similar in different creation myths is what the key to this reading is. Now we're talking about the ETs, and there's many different types of ETs, and apparently they all put bits of their, gotta say genes again, or splicing, different parts of them into create man. It's like we're made up of all different things. There were different genes is what I'm getting, because I don't know any other word. I feel like there's another word that we're not aware of. I feel like it's like something else that they do that it's way beyond our technology and our science. So, but what I am getting, what I'm hearing, and it's asking me to look at the similarities between the creation myths. That's what this reading is about. And it's saying that, yes, the similarities being that God from the Bible, Genesis, because we've got this card with Genesis and Enuma Elish, it's saying he created Adam and Eve, and he created all the elements, where we saw all the elements in the read, where they told me that's what they wanted to read on today, the creation story, because it was like all the elements that were created by God and the creation story. Now that's God singular. However, in Genesis, it does say, let us create them in our image, being where we would, in religion or Christianity, we would hear that as singularity, God created us. In Genesis, it actually does say, let us create man in our image, indicating that there's several different types. So that's bringing me back again to Enuma Elish being several of the gods creating man, and it's bringing me back again to the alien side of all the different types of races creating to be man. That's what they're telling me. That's what they're telling me. They're looking at the similarities between, and my general question was, how were we created? Well, it said, have a look at all of the mythologies, all of the creation myths, and see where they're similar. And then it's just pieced it together for me, the similarities. So it's like we're a combination of different genes that were created to create man by the gods, plural. So, well, that was interesting. Didn't know at all where that one was going. So, but yeah, thank you to the cards for bringing that through. Thank you for my spirit team for bringing that information through. Funny enough, the bottom of this deck, I'll just show you. Funny of this deck is the alien card. Do you see the alien in there? So where it did bring in the alien. So where I was reading this card here from the spirit team being the alien thing and pointing over here, I was actually pointing at an alien card. So it's saying, yeah, it's putting that piece of the puzzle together as well. And I went in here with blind and I went in with no information. So I didn't know what I was reading on at all until I sat down to ask the cards what they wanted to talk on. So if there's something you want to talk on, if you want to ask questions about, can be about anything. Happy to read on anything that's kind of weird or spiritual or alien or conspiracy theory. Just drop a question below. Don't be scared. I'm the one that's actually got to say it. So, and I'm happy to see what the cards think, ask what they think. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Wednesday.